just in time.
This meeting is being recorded.
This meeting is being recorded.
Keith, you're not late. You're not late.
Not.
No, don't worry.
Am I actually not late?
No, we've
No, you're
literally
not.
just started recording now because Mr. Tech himself, Mr. Osborne, had a bit of a nightmare, so we're all good now.
Oh, well, that makes me feel a whole lot fucking better.
No, you're fine.
Couldn't start without you, basically. That's what I thought.
Well, I mean, that's understandable. So,
how's things been, Khifie? I've seen you do. What was you doing earlier? Like 220 for what? How many reps was it again?
17 or 18.
And then side.
I think it was 8. Yeah, I think it was 18.
Like 5 plates aside for 18 reps.
And then I done RDLs tonight. I'm not a fan of RDLs, I must say. Like I keep wanting to do them and I keep doing them, but it's not that I keep doing them. I'll do them and then not do them for like 2 or 3 weeks and be like, no, I'm gonna have a shot at them again. And then I do them and I'm like, fuck, why did I even waste my time? I done 220 for 11 and tried to kind of pause them, but I don't know. I'm not getting like that kind of satisfaction out of them, and I feel as if it's something that I need to make them work or be able to actually run them with a bit of intent for more than 2 weeks, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I've not looked back over anything. I've literally just out of the gym or like just finished training, but I don't know. I'll need to look back over everything and just kind of make sure that I either like them or I don't like them. But
do you think it's because you're so used to pulling off the floor that obviously doing an RDL, which is a completely different sort of movement pattern, you're a bit like, I'm not good at this? Or is it just because you don't like it? Or like, I don't know.
It is a hard one. I don't know what it is. I feel as if I connect better with dumbbells over a barbell. But I don't know. I think it would be very easy to get carried away with a barbell because I could literally just go down and back up, but I'm trying to, because it's quite a sophisticated move that I want to actually take a lot from it. Whereas your barbell work, especially with dumbbells, with a conventional deadlift, you're like, the reality is I am just being quite explosive off the floor with a barbell and just standing up straight with it. Whereas you've got to kind of think a little bit more into an RDL and how far I'm traveling with the bar and things like that, and where I actually want it to work. Do you know what I mean? So it would be easy just to go up and down, but at the same time, I don't want to do that if I'm going to run it. But I don't know. It's a hard one. It's a hard one.
I always find that when I do RDLs, I'll try and do an RDL, but it'll just end up being a Dorian.
Yeah.
It always just ends up being a Dorian, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Like I definitely think it's helped me grow my back. But if I was going to use it to try and bias glute and hams, my back would just take over. So I think just because we're both naturally, all right deadlifters, RDL is gonna be one that you'd have to reduce the load, and then that's no fun, really, is it?
I did run it. Yeah, I did run it for a while, like where I would put it. I think I put it like 4th or 5th in legs, and it was just because I'd put enough stimulation on my lower body to obviously drop the load, but be able to make sure that I could primarily focus on obviously glutes, hams more than anything else. Whereas I think if I place it any earlier in the session, I will be more inclined to get carried away and just fucking load the bar and just go up and down. Do you know what I mean? So
I think the problem with you is you're so efficient at a conventional that your body's always going to want to sort of go into that. So I think it's just because it's such a completely different movement for you.
Yeah.
And also because you move so efficiently in that manner, like I said, you're always going to want to. So even when you try to do an RDL, you're probably going to have to put the load in well down, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's almost like because you've sacrificed loading so much, you won't get half out what you want to.
Yeah, definitely.
I've spending time actually trying to sort this, trying to fight Sania, but she has to find out the ID and password. And in the moment of time, I'm trying to found the passcode, but I've not found the ID. I'm shit at this. I should actually know how to do this beforehand, but I'm going to try and freestyle it as we talk and go on. I don't know how the fuck I've done this. Great. Okay. So
I'll take over, George. You carry on. No, so Caitlin, I know you were talking just before you came on. So you had a deload. Was it this week now?
Yeah. So started it on Friday till I think it was Monday. and then went in for devolume sessions sort of this week. And then as of Saturday, it'll just be normal again. I was speaking just before we started this, basically just highlighting like the three main things that happened. I was coming to the end of like, you and your coach should sort of know how long in general it takes until you need to deload. For me, it's about 10 weeks normally, because I've got relatively good recovery, but we'll get into that point. And then all of a sudden, weight just jumped up like 3 pounds and I'd changed nothing. My fasted blood glucose went from 4.5 to 5.5 again, hadn't changed a thing. And just like outside of the gym felt pretty like, I don't know, just sluggish. The thing is, like, lifts were going up in the gym still, but it was just like, let's nip it in the bud now. So yeah, just finish up a deload and then I'll be going back in just with normal volume on Saturday, I believe.
Yeah, I think the thing with deloads is working out and trying to nip it in the bud before it really bites you back. Because
Yeah.
like you said, lifts are still progressing. So to a lot of people, that would be a sign to carry on. But then you may get to the stage then when they're really bombing and you might have dug yourself into such sort of hole, both physically and mentally, that it may take you even longer to pull yourself out of then. So
Yeah.
like finding the signs early, especially from like biofeedback, is good. So the fact that you track all of those and you're aware that like some people might have seen that 3 pound jump, especially females, sorry to generalize, but they might have seen that and been like, oh no, what's going on? Like maybe I'm eating too much, this, that and the other. But it's good that you sort of are aware that it's because you've been pushing so hard. And I know you were aware of it as well. Like you mentioned it, but was it 2 weeks ago? You said you're on the cusp of needing it, so you were right with that.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, like, within 2-3 days, weight will come right back down again. Like, and it's, yeah, I think with females as well, they'll look at a weight jump and then they might not tell their coach because they think that their coach would think that they're like going off plan. They'll probably try and restrict calories, do a bit more cardio.
Yeah.
You'll dig yourself into a deeper hole. So yeah, just like we say, like, you don't need to track everything, but what you don't track, you can't manage at the end of the day. So yeah, that's basically just how we nipped it in the bud. We also did that on prep as well. Like, I noticed that when we took a deload or a little bit of a rest, weight would just come down. And it was after like that first show where it was the first time in probably like 8 weeks that I'd had sort of more than one rest day in a row, and then everything just started plummeting down. So yeah, nipped it in the bud, and now we can get back on to training and trying to get strong.
So you'll do D-volume for a couple of days and then go back to normal then, yeah?
Yeah. So on Tuesday did like a D-volume push with AJ and Loz, and then Wednesday it was like a D-volume, just standard pull session, and today was legs. Legs is pretty much rock bottom volume anyway, but like.
What is?
Come on, George. George, you're going to welcome Sania on the podcast?
I have no idea what the fuck's going on right now with whatever setup is happening on my phone. I don't know what's happening. This is the second time it's done this now. I'm getting pissed off. Anyway,
are you behind?
No, it just lagged me out. Like, I just lagged out just then. Couldn't hear anything. What is going on? I don't even know. Can everyone hear me? All right.
Yeah.
This is disgraceful. So yeah, sorry. I'm back, of course. So now I turn the phone, I reckon.
There we go.
Is that better?
Yeah.
So we've got Sania on the podcast, and I was disappointed that she didn't know me about 6 months ago, but we'll leave it there. And the reason why I wanted to get you on, because I've spoken to you twice now, and what I like is you're just straight to the point, you're honest, and you just say it how it is. And for me, like, I like to be around people that are just honest, no bullshit. Like even when we was out on Friday, you're just telling people straight, like get out of the way, move this and that. And I'm thinking, I want to be around someone like that. I don't want someone, oh, should we fucking pussyfoot about it? No, we don't want that. So, and obviously not just that, but you are a 2-time champ, you know, last year. I think you can add a lot of value to, yeah. So I think you can add a lot of value to just even talking about training, nutrition. I think you've got a lot of value moving forward. That's why I wanted you to be on and just chat and just talk and just keep it real, because that's what I want to, that's what the whole podcast is about. And, you know, I'm sure everyone here, including myself, has had feedback from others who have watched or listened. And they've all said like positive things so far. I mean, I know you guys don't see the analytics or anything like that for it, but you know, some of these podcasts I don't know why people don't share, but some of these podcasts are getting like 10,000 total like listens and views. It's pretty mad. So I don't know
I'll
how
have to start doing my hair then if that's the case.
I don't know
my
how
makeup.
How are you, by the way, Sania? Sorry, I haven't introduced you really, but how are you?
No, that's okay. I'm good. I finally recovered from New Year's, which is great. It took me a couple of days to actually get back to normal. No, but I'm good. Yeah, just finished on a rest day today, which is welcomed because definitely needed it after Friday for sure.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I got the dreaded C. I got the dreaded C word on.
You what?
I got the dreaded C word.
He got COVID, didn't he?
On Sunday, I got it, and I was like, "Fuck's sake, here we go." So I'm a little bit. I feel at the first night I had like some crazy hot flushes, like hot, cold. Woke up 3 o'clock in the morning, drenched in sweat. I was like, "Okay, something's not right here." And then so far since then, because obviously I haven't got my jabs at all. I feel a little bit underneath the weather. I feel a little bit like coffee. Appetite has gone to shit, but it's not like bad at all. Like I can still do normal stuff. I could train if I really wanted to. I can take the dog for a walk and have no problems. It's just a little bit congested in here. So
when did you test positive for it?
Sunday.
So you're coming on Monday then?
Yes, I am. Of course I am. Of course I am. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But
have you?
I didn't get it.
Have you not put it on your George?
How?
Have you not put it on your story because you don't want anyone slating you because you haven't had the jab?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. I can't be bothered with it. Like people are like, oh, you need to isolate for 10 days or whatever it is, 7 days. I just fucking do my own thing. Like, fuck off, innit? Like, if anything, I don't give a shit. Take the dog for a walk. I do my usual stuff. I just stay away from people. It is what it is.
Did you not take a test and that you never had it, or?
Well, I felt a little bit after I had the night sweats. I felt a little bit dodgy, so I was like, right, okay, I need to actually probably take a test here. And that was probably my second ever test I've done.
Right,
I hadn't even done a test once, and that was prior to actually going to the event on New Year's. So that was my first ever lateral flow test. But honestly, I'm not surprised after the weekend and just seeing how many people were there. Like I walked in there and I was like, I'm guaranteed to walk out of here with COVID, you know, I'm guaranteed. London's one of the most popular places for COVID right now. It's sweaty. I was dripping in sweat. I was like, okay, I know I'm going to get it. So I just kind of asked for it really.
With that, the new, what is it, like the new variant thing? Like everybody seems to be getting it. Like it seems to just.
Except us. We're just immune.
Yeah, all the girls who went on New Year's hasn't got it, but all the boys have it.
Yeah.
None of the girls have got it.
All got it. Yeah, so I don't know why that is. I don't know.
Beth doesn't have it. I don't have it. Georgie doesn't have it.
It's very strange.
Hannah doesn't have it.
It's very strange. I don't know. But yeah, I knew as soon as I got in there, I was like, right, I haven't been around this many people in about 2 years. I'm definitely going to get it at some point.
Caitlin, I'm surprised you didn't get it. The amount of people you were jumping onto.
No.
Are we gonna touch upon this?
Caitlin,
this is why I wanted to go on my
the
tablet
chat.
because I have photographic evidence of this dude, but now I can't show it because I'm on my phone.
Nah. So I have no idea what actually happened the whole night. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think I was bad. I didn't think I was bad at all. And then the next day, I'm actually looking through Sania's story, and I'm like, what is this? Absolutely horrendous. You're full on like vlogging the whole night.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was loving life.
I walked into the gym and AJ and Loz were like, "Did you have a nice New Year's?" I was like, "What? how the hell do they know?
They knew more about your New Year's than you did.
Yeah.
On that note, Caitlin, how many people that night came up to you, do you reckon?
Fucking hell, so many people came up to Caitlin.
Ridiculous. Even I.
You know what? Like,
I was like, whoa.
Did you have your shoulders out?
Yeah, of course
Oh,
she
there
did.
you go, then. There you go. You're asking for it then.
I know. We said this before we went out, and it was like, don't get me wrong, I knew it was going to happen, but I just didn't expect it to be like that amount. Like, I don't see myself and think you look like you know, massive or anything, but like I'd be walking through and people would just grab you and shit, and it's like, oh, bit odd. Like, if you were fat, they won't come up to you and grab your belly, would they?
No.
It is a little bit weird, but like, I was in a good mood. I didn't really mind it. It's just a lot of the same stuff over and over and over again.
How much you bench, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw it and I sit there and think that would fucking annoy me. Just
Well, you did get it. Oh my God, are you that guy from YouTube? Oh my God.
I mean, sometimes it's nice, but when it's just repetitive all the time, and it's like, I mean, it's a little bit different for males and females. Like, females, I think it's a little bit like, if a guy keeps coming up to you, pestering you, I think that's just annoying. That's just a big no. And even like I was like, fucking hell, like so many people come up to you, because let's be honest, it's not normal seeing someone your size. Like, you're very short as well. So when you come through, it's like, fucking hell, okay. Like, you don't often see that every single day. So I take that as just compliments. I do.
Oh yeah, honestly, like it's all good fun. Like, no one's ever nasty about it, and that's actually quite surprising. Like, I do expect people to be like, but it's people are actually quite nice about it. And I actually met someone who was like, oh, do you know so and so? And I actually competed against like one of their mates or something. It's such a small world.
I agree. What'd you do for New Year's, Jack? Shooting and booted, actually. Whoa, I see you in a shirt for the first time.
Fairly quiet. So went for food at a nice Italian. Was steep though. Wasn't expecting the bill. But
how steep are we talking?
It was like a 3-course set meal, and it was just over 100 quid.
For two?
I suppose, yeah. But I suppose it was New Year's, so it was going to happen. But
was there any drinks involved?
No, they gave you like a glass of champagne on the way in, but that was it.
Okay.
Nice. Nice and civilized.
It was the first time I've seen past 12 on New Year's in about 4 years. So, because normally, like, I'm not being like, I normally treat it like a normal night. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
How did that affect your next day? As in getting up? Did you still get up at like?
I always get up at the same time, regardless. Right. But then I might go back. To bed for a bit. So I'll always have my first meal at the same time. But then if I've got time, I'll just go back to bed. So that's just what it was.
I used to do that at uni all the time. Like, I'd wake up for my first meal and I'd literally just go right back to bed. Like, I've not got an issue.
It's quite a nice feeling, I think.
Caitlin, I wanted to just mention quickly, like, your Instagram story when you came, because I know exactly what happened when you came back on Boxing Day and you went back to your uni halls and the kitchen. And
oh my God.
Like, how the fuck are you not ill?
It was gross.
I did not expect it to like get that much. Like, let's say I normally put a story up and I'll get like 20, 30 DMs or whatever. I opened, like, I was training at the time when I put it up. I must have left it like half an hour and I had like 100 DMs. It's it was absolutely disgusting. I live with animals, but like, I know people expect it to be dirty, but it's another level. That,
like, how did you clean it all? Did you all join in and help out, or?
So every week we have like an inspection, and if it's not deemed fit, then you get like charged or whatever. But over Christmas, they don't have the weekly inspection, so it just got worse and worse and worse. And for every bin bag, it's like £10 or something. So I literally just got everything and just threw it in the bin.
They make a fucking
right.
bomb.
It was bloody disgusting.
I know, but I looked at the drinks and the water and it was sat on the top.
Yeah.
And then you went around to the bin.
No, you know what that was?
Oh my God.
They'd had a party and they got drunk and they were I don't know why, they were just pouring the tap until they could reach the top without it overflowing. Apparently that was funny at the time.
Oh, banter.
Yeah, banter that.
George,
Jack,
what's your worst story? Your worst uni house story in terms of mess?
Okay, so I used to live in my first year, I used to live in the 5th floor of my uni accommodation. It's quite high. I'm talking, like, I don't know how much in feet, but it's very high. Like, you jump, you die. And
Dramatic.
yeah, if you want to look at that, you'll get crushed if you jump. And I once went into first thing in the morning, and because we was on the top floor, and there's like 5 bags of just fucking bin or just litter, and obviously you got to take it downstairs. It's long, innit? You all know what it's like being a uni student. So I once went in there, and there was a rat or mice of some sort in our kitchen. And how the fuck you got 5? Keeping in mind we're on the 5th floor, it's that high. How did it get up there? You got to think about it. It must have climbed through the bricks, all that sort of. It must have dug its way up to get there. And I was just like put off. I've never been so ill in my life in my first year at uni. Hated it. But yeah, when I saw that rat or mice, whatever it was, I was like, I'm done. I can't live here anymore. Need my own place, because I was sharing like 5 other people, 6 other people. Just not good. Not good. It's not healthy.
20 in our kitchen. 20.
20.
Holy fuck.
20 people.
So we've got two flats, 10 people in each, and for some reason they just don't use their kitchen, they just use ours. So that's why it was so bad. 20.
I wouldn't fucking live there. I wouldn't live there at all.
No.
I was so lucky because I was at my first year uni accommodation throughout the whole of lockdown. So I was on my own the whole entire time because everyone went home, but I just stayed there. So I had my whole accommodation to myself. It was fantastic.
Not lonely.
No, I loved it. I'm a bit of a loner. I love my own company. And also I was training at Lewis's gym. So I was constantly seeing Beth and seeing Ella at the gym, and then I'd come back. So it didn't really change much, but I love my own space. I love the fact that it was clean. It was all my stuff. I was just chilling, had my TV, had my laptop, sound.
Some people used to do that. They used to just stay down there all year round. I mean, I guess sometimes it might be hard for them to travel back, or if they're overseas. But I remember some people used to stay over at Christmas. I'm like, really? You're not going to go home? I'm like, nah. I'm like, all right, fair, each to your own.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
that was basically what my story was. So when we went into second year, we obviously got our first house. There were 8 of us. I think 4 of the boys moved in early over Christmas because they had like pre-season rugby training. I got there like 3 weeks late, and the washing machine was full. Yeah. And it had been full for 2 weeks. They hadn't emptied it. No. So they'd washed it, but left it in there. And you could see all the water in there, and it wouldn't open. So I rattled it open, pulled it open, and it flooded like the whole kitchen. And you should have smelt it, because it was like the dirty water that had been in there for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
And it was all over the floor. It was horrendous.
I think one of the worst things you can do is leave like food in the sink. Like, I used to come back and used to see fucking food everywhere. I'm thinking, like, that is probably and it's all like gooey and all that sort of stuff.
And the worst is for people like us who live in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's the worst part, isn't it?
My housemate now, I live with Beth, but my other housemate, Harry, he's fucking vile, and he's upstairs now, and I fucking hope he hears it.
Is that toothbrush boy?
Yeah, toothbrush boy.
Oh yeah, toothbrush boy, yeah.
I will clean the toilet.
Spit on it.
With his toothbrush if he leaves shit in the toilet one more time. One more time, and I will do it. I promise you. I hid his keys. I've ratted on him. I'm a snake. I don't give a fuck. I'm a snitch. And I swear to God, one more time. One more time.
You're the type of person that will probably get pissed off if he doesn't put the seat down after he's done. So
I had my limits. I was like, no. It's fine. He's a boy. I know, stereotypical, whatever. I was like, he's a boy. He's, not as clean as me. Because I'm a bit of a neat freak. Oh my God. I cannot. This boy is disgusting.
You don't like him?
Pardon?
Does he know that you don't like him?
Oh, he does now. Yeah, he does now. He
sure
knew of like 2 weeks ago. No, but I was like, would let him use my pots and pans, absolutely fine. Then he doesn't clean them. I ask him to clean them. He doesn't clean them. Then he leaves shit on the toilet, leaves shit all in the sink, doesn't wipe the sink. I cannot explain just how fucking vile this guy is. He's disgusting. Like, Harry, if you hear this, my love, please fucking clean the sink because you're disgusting.
We might get a live reaction on you. You might bust in now. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
So that would be
great.
Right.
Yeah, batter 'em.
I find everyone, especially just by living with other people, everyone does stuff differently, like cleaning, and you have your way, and it's like if someone else does something different, it's like
Oh, God,
I try and finish as much washing up as like I don't do dishwashers or anything like that. I've been in houses and lived in a house that had dishwasher. I've just never used it, but I've always made sure I've washed up my stuff prior to me eating, so I know I haven't got to do much afterwards. Whereas some people, they can just fucking cook everything, leave it on the side, eat their food, then do it afterwards. I get that everyone's very different. And even when I was at uni, like I used to live with in my third year, I used to live with 3 random strangers, and I fucking hated it because everyone was so different and did things differently. And you go downstairs, like, where the fuck's half my stuff? Someone's gone through my cupboard and stolen something. I've got 1 fucking knife, 1 fork. Where's the rest gone? It's just, why bother? Why bother? Yeah, I'm glad I'm out of that stuff because, you know, fucking uni houses, well, they're expensive. Paying like 400 quid a month each on like a shitty little house.
You better hope I don't nick your cutlery, George.
Yeah, I'll be fucking fuming, mate. I'll be fuming. I use the same bowl since 2019, so I only eat out of bowls. I don't.
Oh yeah, you and Jack are moving in together. I wonder how your whole routines are gonna.
Well, I think we're
align.
fairly similar, so
Yeah.
I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, we're
That's
very.
good.
And I know Jack will keep himself clean. I'll keep myself clean. I think that's just kind of how we are. I couldn't live with someone that's messy. No way.
If not, we'll be hearing about it on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Or like me on your close friend story.
Well, you'll probably hear about it because we won't be living together, so everyone will know.
That's coming. Yeah, Jack's been a dickhead this week. He's fucking done this, done that. He's a lazy bastard.
I love it when close friends, the orange circle comes up on Instagram because I know it's something juicy. I know it's gonna be some shit.
Yeah.
Khifie,
Sorry,
no,
Caitlin.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Interesting if one of them comes off the podcast.
say again.
How
Go
he's
on,
going to
George,
do
what are you
that?
saying?
How he's going to do that? Sit in a different room or just sit beside each other?
Yeah, well, now we're
Yeah,
going
we
to do
I thought we said we were going to do it together on the and then invite guests around.
Oh yeah, do
we'll
like
do it off the one screen.
Yeah, we're going to call the house the Shredder's house because we're just going to be fucking peeled out of our beans at some point. So yeah, well, we got to sort that out yet. That's fucking. I mean, over Christmas it's been quiet, but
Monday.
we're getting the ball rolling, and hopefully by the time we start prep, which for me is roughly around about late March time. Yeah.
Well, that's soon.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
God, yeah, that's not long at all.
no, it comes
2.5 months.
My 2019 prep I started in January the 18th, and I didn't finish till September late September time. So I was just dying throughout the whole fucking thing. I remember AJ telling me, like, you're going to be on stage about 1:30, and he was sending me through videos of natural guys who were like, this is what it looks like 1:30. Don't worry, you look a lot bigger than what it actually is. End up proving him wrong. I was like, motherfucker, I'm 145 pounds, not 135 pounds. So had 10 pounds out of fucking somewhere. But no, that's going to come around very quick, so quick. And I'm so excited, man. It's just, especially, we spoke about this before, like being in the surplus for so long now, like it's just, I want to see what I look like lean. I just like to spend some time not having to think about food, because the days go, like right now, the days go so quick. I notice the days go so much quicker when I have to kind of be structured with my food and have to make sure I get my meals in. Whereas when I was on prep, the day used to go way slower because I knew I was more food focused, if that makes sense. I'm sitting there counting down the clock. So I'm kind of looking forward to the days going a little bit slower and actually me looking forward to, eating. Because right now I'm sitting there thinking, I've got a meal after this and I cannot be fucked one bit. So yeah, it's kind of come around quickly. I can't wait for it.
I know exactly what you mean in regards to like speed of the day going, like prep. Although, yeah, looking back on it now, it feels like it's gone pretty quick. But at the time, I felt like it was a whole different part of the year, like one whole section. And it's one of them where you can sort of sit and I think you have a lot of time to yourself, so you can sit and think a lot as well. And I noticed that I just get so much more productive. So like you do so much more as well on prep. Like I think the only reason that I've managed to keep that up so far is that I've just not changed anything about the routine post prep. Is that something you're going to do this time around? Because I know that you sort of want to keep that routine in off season. Are you going to I'd ask Jack, but he's, nothing changes year round, does it?
I think, yeah, obviously, like even just the past 6 months now has been the most. I've treated it like a prep itself, the off season.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that I enjoy doing more. But for me, it's like even this morning, I've got a rest day today. I was like, right, I normally get up at 6. I'm like, right, I'm just gonna get up at 7. But I can't, because if I get up at 7 or later, that pushes back the workload, that pushes back that first meal. When I'm on prep, it's easy, because if I have a shorter window of eating, I can put the food away quite easy. Say if I'm like start eating at 11 o'clock in the morning, I'll be like, okay, cool, I can still get 5 meals in, because I'm still gonna be starving hungry, and I've still got enough or a decent amount of calories to eat in that period of time. Whereas now I can't, I need to be eating at 7 o'clock to ensure I can get my 4,600 calories in. Because if I eat at 9 o'clock, I'm gonna be up till nearly midnight trying to get the food in, because I'm not hungry and I'm trying to push it. So I'm just kind of looking forward to not having to be so like I mean, I am disciplined, I'm always gonna be disciplined, but not have to be on a strict time, like 7, 9:30, 11:30, 2:30, then eating, that sort of stuff. I don't want that anymore. I just want to be able to look forward to eating and just chilling out a little bit, and not having to be, right, I need to rush back and get my food in. I can just eat a little bit later if need be.
COVID.
Yeah, it's COVID cough coming in.
Sania, how have you found post-show then? Because this is your first sort of post-show period, isn't it?
Yeah. First post-show. It's been an experience. I kind of didn't really get the post-show blues. I didn't miss being lean, that kind of part of it. I really enjoyed, actually getting softer, because I actually enjoy looking a little bit healthier, and, having that body fat, because then I was getting stronger. But the only issue that I really, really, really struggled with was the sheer amount of food focus that I had. It was really hard. Sticking to a diet was really, really difficult. I'd eat, but I was never satisfied. I think up until only recently have I actually only ever felt full, like genuinely gone, oh, I'm actually not hungry anymore. Okay. And it's just been that process, like trying to not overdo it, overeat, and because my mind's telling me I'm hungry when I'm actually full. Like I remember the week after my show, I literally just ate and ate, even if my stomach was hurting, because I was allowed to eat the food. I just ate it. Like if someone offered me anything, even though my stomach was all the way out here, I ate it. So I didn't get really I miss being lean part, and I still don't. But my main issue was just my food focus. And I'd have days where I was a bit lower, looking at myself going, oh, that's kind of shit. But I was quite realistic, knowing, right, I've eaten that food yesterday, of course that's going to happen. Don't be a bit naive. But yeah, I definitely struggled with food focus. But I think next time, obviously people say it gets a lot easier in terms of food focus and that kind of stuff. So I'll definitely be looking to approaching it differently, instead of just going, right, okay, I can do what I want. But it didn't really help that I had my 21st birthday literally 4 days after my show. So that was almost like, right, I'm ready. I'm going to drink, eat, do what the fuck I want. It's my 21st birthday. And then I think that's what just spiraled me out of control, because it was almost like, right, I've done that now. Sound, I'm going to do it again because I enjoyed it. So I don't think a holiday post-show, a 21st birthday post-show, or anything planned like big post-show is probably the best idea, in my opinion, anyway.
Did you find?
I think what people need to, sorry, George, I think what people need to remember as well, if they didn't know, but Sania was not eating like low calories going into a show at all.
No,
like,
I had 5 guys a week out.
Yeah, like you were just being fed up and up and up. But equally, like, it just goes to show that it's not gonna, no matter how much you're eating going into the show, if you're, lean, you are still gonna have that food focus. And you sort of touched on, is it going to get easier? I think people probably say it gets easier. Like the food focus aspect, in my opinion, it definitely doesn't. But you can just sort of switch off and tell yourself to not eat that. I think anyway.
It doesn't get easier. It's just how you manage it, because through experience you learn how to manage it. So that, I think that's the main thing. It never gets easier, because it's like, it's an actual real thing. It's a psychological thing that doesn't change. What changes is the strategies you use to manage that.
I agree on that, because I I was fine for like the first 20 weeks of my prep. I was fine, like dieting. And then I made the mistake of trying to add in those 10K jellies. I tried doing that. And then I started having like 4 a day, and one with my breakfast, one with my post-workout meal. I'm like, that's when it started to cause way more hunger. So I think even next time around for me this year, I'm not gonna. I did go through a phase actually where I was like, I used to have my oats pre-workout, and I spoke to AJ about it, and I said to him, look mate, these oats, and it's just like the way that I was having, it was just making me more food focused, those artificial sweeteners. And he was like, right, try potato or something. So I tried like boring bland potato, but then I was eating like 500-600 grams of potato in one go, and it's like, you know, I'm going from being really food focused in terms of fucking artificial sweeteners, stuff like that. Now I'm going to being bloated and eating so much food and trying to create much more volume. So I just ended up sticking with the oats and just told myself, right, try and stick to a boring, bland way. I kept it boring as fuck. And to be fair, that was a much better way of doing things, rather than trying to be smart and have a square of chocolate and fucking this and that. I just kept it boring in the end.
I did the same as you. I tried to make my meals so artificially tasty, and then that's what spiraled me. So I wasn't like hungry, like throughout my prep. I think I had quite a bit of food because we pushed my food up really, really high, almost just for the sake of it. So when I was in prep, I think only in the last 3 weeks did I only have my rest days at no carbs whatsoever. So it wasn't where like I had no carbs in like a rest day for like continuous amounts of weeks. So I feel like Caitlin said, my food was quite high, but where it got lower, and in my head I thought it was so low, I was almost like trying to like add things in, like sweeteners, syrups, different types of whey, like watering down everything. And it just, once I started that spiral, that was when I was like, right, how can I do this? How can I do that? How can I make this more voluminous? And that's when I became more food focused, when in reality, probably should have just stuck to what I had, and then I probably wouldn't have been as food focused towards the end of prep. But when you're in a prep, you're always going to get food focused at some point, aren't you?
Did you struggle more during your prep or post prep?
The transition from my first time at show to the British finals was really, really, really difficult. I think because in my head, I was like, okay, I'm going to my first show. It's my first show. No expectations. Didn't think I was going to do the finals. Didn't think I was going to even qualify for the finals. Obviously, going into my show, winning it, and then obviously the overall, it was almost like a right, now you've got the British to do. But in my head, I almost thought, right, I'm done. I'm all done. I've done the comp. That's what I was going into it. Like, I've done my show. This is show day. That's going to be it. Prep's going to be over. And then it was almost just the transition of what we did is we cut the food quite low, and then Tom would feed me up again when I was looking relatively flat. And then we'd cut again, and then he'd feed me up again. And that kind of process just kind of made me want to look really, really flat so I could get more food. So every single time he said, no, less food, or no, keep it the same, I'd get really, really upset and really, really angry, because I'd be like, I look really flat today. And I just really struggle psychologically, because some days I'd be on higher food, some days I'd be on lower food. And it was just that back and forth that really, really messed with me, like in between the shows. And also just like, it was just mentally, I was like, we were going into it not to win. Like, I spoke to Tom after my show, and we were like, top 6, we can do top 6. And on the day I was like, yeah, top 6 would be great at the British, come on. I was like, yeah, let's do that. And then the more and more you think about it, you're like, I'm putting myself through this hunger, through this whole experience for a top 6. And I know people like it say it's for experience, but when you prep for a show and you're going through this, you want to win. Like, everyone, like, some people will deny it, but you want to win. And because we were almost, because like people were saying like top 6 or top 3 or whatever, I want to go into something and win it. And for me to put everything into this and being really unhappy to then get top 6, I was like, what's the fucking point? Top 6, what's that? And then I just cut through it. Beth was here for me. I had Tom by my side. I had just like a really good support network. And they were like, look, Sania, if you don't do it, you're going to just regret it. And if you don't know what placing you're going to get. You don't know how people are going to look. You've come this far. you might as well carry on, like even if you just have to drag it. And Beth was like, even if I have to do this with you, even if I have to do this, like she would literally message me, so are you okay, like as soon as I wake up? Or she'd go, oh, I'm away, but I'm coming back in 2 hours, so we could just sit on the sofa and do nothing together. It was just like that circle helped me. And then finally obviously got through the British finals, like I know like 4 days before I was like, I just can't. I legitimately was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm sick of it. I was like, I don't like Tom. I hate him so much. He's putting me through pain. I can't do this anymore. I used to like him. And then obviously if I didn't continue, then I wouldn't have been a British champ. So I struggled a lot, but it was in a way worth it, I want to say, but kind of not, because it was painful.
Yeah, I think I remember you winning your first show, and I remember you was quite surprised. I remember you being quite surprised. I think for you, I think it's just when you it's your first season, so you never really know what to expect, and you never know what you look like underneath your body fat because you've never been there before. So you always go in there with a little bit, like, even when I was a couple of weeks out, I was always self-doubting myself. I started looking at what other people, because you kind of, when you get close to the show, you kind of figure out who's competing in that show, what category they're doing. And then you start looking at other people and comparing how they look to how you look, and you're thinking, fuck this, look how good they look. But when you're standing side by side, it's completely different. It's just, okay, well, sometimes, especially when you get put in that first spot, you're like, okay, now we're talking here. Like, that's when it's very hard the first sort of season. But what's your plans now? Obviously, I know you're in your off season, but when you could plan in to step on stage again, do you know? Are you just enjoying life, or?
Yeah, so we've got a plan in place. So in a way, obviously with my first season, obviously winning the overall and the British champ, it would be cool potentially to go back to PCA, but right now I almost feel like I've kind of, in a way, completed it. Does that make sense? In the most least arrogant way ever. But it was but I would quite like to step up in a way, go to a different federation and go into two bros, and just grow and just be competitive in figure. And with toned figure in PCA, it's very, very different to two bros. The look is completely different. The muscle that's needed is completely different. Everything about it is just completely different. So I'm just taking time away. I'm going to grow, and I'm just going to take as much time as I need. I'm in no rush to get to where I need to be, and I'll just take my time, listen to Tom, eat what I need to eat, train hard, and then when my body's ready and when we think I'm ready to compete again, hopefully in the two bros, and I'd like to go back competitive. I don't want to go back like, oh, cool, she looks slightly bigger than she last competed. I want to go there and people go, shit, yeah, she's improved. Okay, she's competitive in two bros. So that's the plan. So probably about 3, 4, 5, 6 years out, who knows, just whenever. It's literally more so we know we've got to take years out. How many, not sure, just whenever I'm ready, really.
Once you get after that sort of year mark, it's like, okay, I said to myself 3 years, 4 years. It's not going to be 3 years, 4 years, it's going to be 2. You get to need 2, it's like, nah, fuck this, I'm competing next year, I'm not having that. Even we spoke about Khifie, like, this is the longest time you've taken off in about 4 years, mate. And for you, it's like you're competing. Your plans are still to step on stage this year, yeah?
Yeah, we're going to do September, October time. I think that's when the Britain will fall. The Worlds have been announced for November, so I'm assuming the Britain will fall at the end of October, or end of September, sorry. It's usually kind of 4 or 5 weeks between them, so it'll be the kind of end of September mark. So it'll be the exact same as you. Realistically, in the next couple of months, things will kind of start to happen again. I'll more so make the transition of foods over anything else, obviously, because I've got a lot of variety and like my foods now, before moving to like just like potato and oats. That's literally all my kind of food consists of, obviously, throughout the full prep. So I'm looking forward to, I know I'm ready to diet. It'll just be making that transition.
Yeah,
just moving away from things like cereal,
burgers and pizza.
Yeah, pretty much. The worst thing was after prep in last year, or 2020, I should say. I like literally just craved stuff like bagels and rice and things like that. The years before that, I know I would always crave things like, things like pizza and that, or you would think you would crave them. I think because you knew you had the freedom to go and eat whatever you wanted, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So you felt as if that's what you were craving, even though the reality was probably wasn't. But after that prep, I was more so just craving probably better carbohydrates, or what you would classify as nicer tasting carbohydrates, over just sweet potato and white potato kind of thing. So I was more so looking forward to getting that in, and I think I've got a feeling it'll probably be the same this year again, because throughout this off season I've took in a lot of just more so different like variations of carbs, and it's not necessarily been like just all cereal. It's like there's been more so down the lines of obviously things like bagels and that have been a staple in my diet, and I think it'll be taking them away. I think I'll probably struggle the most with, but they'll probably be the first things that I will want back, and unfortunately I'll just have to wait until the end of prep. But I'm ready to get back on stage. I think I don't know, I couldn't take unless I really knew I had to take 2 years off. I couldn't take 2 years off. It's too fucking long. I'm sick of eating, man.
Even you, Jack, you've had since what, 2017? Yeah, 2017.
Yeah, so it's going to be 5 years, mate.
I mean, yeah, I understand you've done a few mini cuts and stuff like that. It's not like you've been in a constant surplus, but I'm sure you're so eager to get.
Oh, mate, I've been eager from the first. I went to shows. Well, yours was what? 8? Did you do one in 18?
Me?
Yeah, when did you?
19.
I did one in 18.
I'm trying to think. I went to shows in 18, and then I went to shows in 19, and both of those years I was itching, and that was like a year after. So yeah.
Jack Clark competed when I first competed.
Yeah.
Sure, it was at like the same British finals.
Yeah.
Jack Clark competed when I was in like year 7, mate.
Are you sure you're going to compete this year though? Because you said this.
Do you know what? I had a wobbler last week, a big wobbler. Like I was traveling away, and I think it was just because I was slightly out of routine and I skimped on my mobility work and stuff like that. And then like pre-session routine, I kind of rushed a bit. And then I had a couple of off sessions, like quite badly off. And then I was saying to myself, yeah, you ain't competing again this year. And it's exactly what I did last year, because I was hell bent on competing last year. And then in like December time, I had a hiccup, and then I was like, nah, I'm not doing it. And then I kind of started slipping into that last week. But then as soon as I've come back now, evaluated it, got my shit together, like I've had a fair few good sessions. So now like training today, I was like buzzing around the gym, like, oh, it's on, like ready for it. So now I kind of have to. And also I've told Danny with Insight to write it in my contract, I have to compete. So
when are you looking to compete? Like what shows are you looking at? Are you allowed to say?
Not sure. Like normally, no, I'm not going to pull a Dorian on you and not. Normally, what I like to do is like do loads of shows. So, and I always try and do like the Welsh, because obviously being in Wales and that. But I like speaking to AJ as well, because I do talk to him quite a lot. If I want to do as well as I can, it doesn't really make sense to do that, because what I've done in the past is I've done like a 16-week prep for my first show, qualified for finals, but finals are like 16 weeks after. So I'll do like 32, and then I might do another couple of weeks after. So probably going to look to do like an end of year qualifier, just so it means then I've got to wait like 3-4 weeks tops before finals. Obviously, you are risking it by doing that, but it's not really a risk because you're going to end up facing those guys at finals anyway. So yeah, like there's probably going to be towards like September time. George, I think you're probably doing a similar thing, yeah?
We'll probably end up doing the same show, I can imagine.
Yeah. So like September.
Yeah, September, the late qualified. I personally couldn't do early qualifiers and then, have like 16 weeks in between. I'd feel very lost if someone told me, right, we're going to gain a little bit of body weight now and eat a little bit more food. I'd be like, what?
Yeah, but I just didn't, mate.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So just
that must have been so hard.
Literally woke up every morning, posed, and I was like, yeah, I could compete this morning.
Mm.
Like every morning, it was like that.
Yeah. I mean, I did 4 shows in total in 2019, and I thought that was like on my last one. I mean, yeah, I was over dieted, but like that last one was a drag, and I wanted to do it this year again because I like being on stage. I like the experience. I like the day of it. I like the social media interaction as well. I like all of that shit. I'm not going to bullshit. Keep saying that. But I need to realize if I want to do really well, I need to, you know, not do as many shows and just like, even right now, the biggest concern I have is I'm starting in March time. I'm thinking, is that going to be enough time for me to get to where I want to be? You know, I'm having those doubts already because I obviously started in January, which is it was over 2 months before. I'm thinking, and I'm going to see people on Instagram prepping under this many weeks out. I'm thinking, fuck, I haven't started yet.
Yeah,
So
but remember last time you competed, when did you say you were at your best? How many weeks out?
About 6, 8.
6 to 8. Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's your own prep.
You know you can get lean as well. You know you can get lean.
Yeah.
And the thing is as well, every single time you prep, you're going to get leaner.
Yeah.
Easier. And you'll have more muscle. So it'll look like you're leaner. Like, honestly, I would not worry about that at all.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know. It just crossed my mind. I was thinking, fuck, like I'd start now. I'd easily start now and diet until September, no problems. But I know for me, that's not going to make me a better bodybuilder. I'm just going to have to spend like I did last time and spend 6 months regaining the muscle that I lost, and then tell everyone, look at the new muscle I've gained, and like, oh my god, your transformation since your prep is amazing. And I'm like, it's just the muscle that I've just regained that I lost throughout the prep is nothing fucking special. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting year. It really, really is. And it will be good to do the podcast as well because we have so much to fucking talk about.
Yeah, but we'll probably both be dead.
Yeah, dragging our feet about. That's fucking sure. But I can't wait, honestly.
All 3 of you will.
Yeah.
And my face will just be getting bigger and bigger.
It would be good to actually do some comparisons to where we look like now and to when we're on prep.
I'm strange though. I don't lose that much in my face.
You just turn into a baby.
Yeah, but I'm relatively babyish already.
Yeah.
Like I do.
It's not a
I
bad
do.
thing.
I do drop a few years, but I don't get like death face at all.
Oh God! See, I craved it. And then when I got it, and now I'm like,
I just can't get it. I don't get it. It's strange. So.
Jack ends up looking like a baby, and I don't know, like I end up looking like a junkie, and George ends up dyeing his beard black. Like
I don't know why the fuck if I'm on the podcast and I'm debating whether to dye something, whether my eyebrows, my hair, my beard, just say no. Just don't do it. Start doing.
Will you listen though? That's the thing. Will you listen?
I will. Because people like they buy fucking shoes, they buy that. I just dye my beard and do some weird.
No, the thing is, it's actually about the overall package as well, especially for girls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know some people have been told to sort of change their bikini color from a qualifier to finals, to and it creates a better look. So it's about the overall package.
Yeah, I agree. Should we do some questions? Khifie, what were you going to say, mate?
I was going to say I'm terrible for spending money on prep. Like, just really bad. Like thinking last time I was on prep, we got to 5-6 weeks out, or maybe even just after that, and I just started spending money on the car, and it was just very bad because I seen like what I wanted the car to look like, and I never took into consideration how much it would have costed. But I thought, no, this is fine. It was keeping me so occupied, and then 4 months later,
it's because you can do it as well. Like, because you can. There was not much you could do. Because what do we do outside of it? We eat.
Literally.
Go out to eat. Yeah.
Do you, on that note, quick question on that, do you find that your preps are more expensive than your off seasons? Like for me, obviously I eat a lot more, spend a lot more on food, but in prep I might spend a little bit more on, I don't know, well, just the actual registration and all that sort of stuff is fucking expensive. But I would probably say, the typical answer would be I spend more in prep, but I actually probably spend more in my off season than I do in prep. Don't know why.
I think for females it's slightly different though, isn't it?
Yeah. I agree on that. Yeah, I agree on that.
I think I spend more money in a shorter amount of time in prep.
Yeah, it's
and then off season it's like overtime, so you don't see it as much. But in prep it's like bikini, registration, it's all at once, so it leaves you almost think you are spending more, when in reality you're probably not. You just need more disposable income in the months that you're competing.
I agree on that. On that note, what would your advice be for someone who's wanted to compete for the first time?
Just take it day by day. Have no expectation. That's what mine would be, because as soon as you expect how it should be, and it's almost slightly different because you're an individual, you question everything if you're doing it right, if your coach is the right person for you, if you should be eating this food. And then another thing would be, just listen to your coach. Just listen to one voice. Don't listen to everyone on Instagram saying, why are you doing that? You should be doing more cardio, you should be eating less. Don't. Just listen to your coach and just be in your own lane and just get on with it. That's what I'd say.
Funny you say that, because I used to put progress pictures up 12 weeks out, and you just put my physique, and people were like, you're too lean, and I was telling everyone, fuck off, you ain't got a clue.
Well, that was the joke, wasn't it? You put too lean on everything.
And then I started putting hashtag too lean, and then that started remember that used to come a little bit of a trend. Everyone was like, too lean,
and you fucking were.
And they ended up being fucking right. So I probably should have listened to the people that are following me. But no, I do agree on that, because sometimes, like, even me when I was competing and people tell me, oh, you look sick, that looks sick, that was like people just blow smoke up your ass when you are leaner. But sometimes you just need to kind of stay in your own lane and just take it on the chin. But I don't listen to what everyone says. I just stick to who I have. Obviously close friends that I will send progress pictures to, but other than that, it won't be just some random Joe that fucking watches a YouTube video of mine, Anyone else? Any other advice?
I'd say make sure you enjoy the process before you go into a prep. Like, make sure, like, the amount of people that fall out of love with bodybuilding after a prep, like, because they go into it and they don't love the whole process yet. So you've got to love the diet side of it. You've got to love the training, because if you don't love it now during an off season, you're going to fucking hate it when it comes to prep, because it just makes you resent it then. So make sure you, like, it's like what I said, George, you quoted it the other day on one of your posts. Like, I ended up competing because I love training and I love bodybuilding. I didn't compete. I didn't like train because I wanted to compete, so it's just a byproduct of loving the process. So I'd say make sure you're invested in the process beforehand.
Yeah, definitely. Just I would always make sure that you know that's what you want to do for the right reasons for yourself, not just for, right, I want to do a competition because I know that I'll get better engagement and shit like that out of it. Do you know what I mean? You it's not really something that it's maybe nice to think about at the start, but once you kind of more so push into the kind of nitty-gritty stages where things do maybe become a challenge, then that's really when you realize that you either want to suck it up and do it, or you could probably easy enough just call it a day. Do you know what I mean? And again, one of the biggest things is just listen and experience it. If it's going to be your first year, experience everything, gain knowledge, like just listen and learn.
And on that enjoyment side of things, well, like, I know before you even step on stage, like, actually enjoy because you on the prep dieting and things like that, you're very focused. But even on the show day, like, enjoy that as well, because I found myself on my first show day, I didn't want to fucking speak to anyone. Fuck off. I'm focused, and don't get me wrong, it's good to be focused and you want to make sure that you're prepared and be on stage and present your best look. But I was like, right, I need to eat meals on this particular time, all this stuff. I don't want to be around anyone. I'm so focused. I'm like this person that's, oh, he's George Osborne, he's moody sitting over there. I was that guy, when really, like, only till my last show, I sat down and I started just talking to people, like, how's your prep been, all this sort of stuff, just enjoying the day a little more. Because once you stand on stage, it's like a complete fucking blur. You stand on there and it's like, can't see the audience or anything, you just see the judges, and then you're off, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, that just happened. And I look back and think, fuck, I should enjoy that way more, So I would certainly say as well, enjoy the show day. As well as that, give yourself plenty of time, especially more of a natural diet. I'd say for me, I like 20 weeks at least, 20 weeks naturally at least, to get, depending on your starting position, of course, but 20 weeks is a good amount. Not 37 weeks. Don't do that. That's dreadful. Fucking dreadful. Any other things to mention on that one? Or
posing. I'm surprised Sania didn't plug it.
Yes.
I've seen people that honestly, like first timers, and you just see, like, they'll post photos where they're not like flexed or anything. And you see it on Instagram and you think, you're a freak. And then they get on stage and they just can't translate that into the posing. And it's so sad. And I think that's why probably some people this year that maybe have really good physiques have not done as well as they maybe could have, because you know, like if you can't show it, can't get placed on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, agreed.
Absolutely agree on that.
They're like, some people just really let themselves down, and it's like, you have a brilliant physique, why waste it? Like, people like, some people are just like, oh no, if I look good, it's fine, they can see what I have, they can see what I have here, and it's like, no, that's not how it's meant to be. You need to present yourself. Like, bodybuilding is about presentation as well, and how you are on stage presence. And there's a reason why there's specific poses for different types of categories, because they help your overall physique. And you can almost sometimes manipulate a weaker body part. So it's just like,
oh God, honestly, on prep, I'm 100 pounds. When I'm just stood there, I don't look like I've even trained a day in my life. Like, so
come
yeah,
on. People came up to you when you were literally just stood there saying, oh my God, Caitlin. Not Caitlin.
Yeah,
but
but that's like I'm getting like 10 kilos.
Right, this is quite a good one. Where is it? Personal favorite piece for each body part. I'm piece meaning an equipment. Where should we start? Floor up to make it easier? I don't even know. Calves.
standing calf.
Yeah, probably standing calf.
Donkey Watson.
Actually, yeah, I do. I must admit, I've used the donkey calf.
I quite like that Atlantis seated one.
Oh no, I don't
I
think
like
I'm
that
tall
one.
enough.
I like a toe press on a leg press. I get like I have to literally like shake off my calves at the end because I'm so fucked from doing
Yeah, you're pretty locked in with that, aren't you? That's a good thing.
Yeah.
The only problem is just when you have your knees so straight and locked out like that. I'd have a slight bend, but sometimes I think, you know, when your leg buckles on a leg day.
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. I don't want to hear it.
Something like that, then you kind of get the gist. Hamstrings. He said best piece of. So I'm guessing
Life Fitness seated ham curl for me, I'd say.
Pretty good one.
Yeah, Life Fitness, or the Prime one if you have it in like the perfect setting.
I find the pad really painful though on my quads, like really bad.
Yeah.
Too big. I quite like the Prime Lion one. That's pretty good.
I like that, you know. I actually don't. I'm not a big fan. I like the seated, the Cybex V1 seated hamstring curl. Really, that's really smooth. Keith.
Probably Life Fitness, seed ham.
Yeah, it's quite
Definitely.
I agree on that. Quads.
Hardcore.
Life Fitness extension's decent. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's all right to be fair.
I would say the
Prime
pendulum
extension.
leg press. I'd say the pendulum leg press. Hammer strength one. It just hits my quads completely differently to any other movement I've ever done. Yeah, or the Cybex hack. If I can make
I'd probably go like a Cybex, either press or extension.
Yeah.
Glutes.
Got to be Nautilus. I know,
Nautilus
really.
glute drive.
Banded kickbacks for me.
A cuffed fucking cable cuffed around the. What's the other? I couldn't do this. I don't know how people do this, but daisy chain with a cuff, attach it round the quad.
Oh, on the bench, the extension when they're like.
Oh, I didn't know what that was for ages.
I
The
don't know what
setup
that
of
is.
that must be fucking annoying. It's like, is it worth doing? You know, one of those
But
ones.
you can do the exact same thing. Quite a lot of gyms have, you know, the hip rotatory machine. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. Just do on that.
Yeah. What's everyone's favorite? Let's do abs.
Nothing.
Yeah.
To be fair, piece of kit for abs.
Ab crunch.
Other than like a
A
rope.
mat.
No, I've used the machine. There's one at Ultraflex. I quite like that machine where it kind of moves. I quite like that.
Yeah.
I think it's
we had to train out of like a what was it called, lifestyle fitness or something like that for a week whenever the gym here was closed, and they had like one of them crunch machines, and I must admit it was very, very nice. But I don't think it was nice enough for me to contemplate going there every week and training abs. I think I'd rather just not train them. But I usually do like a hanging leg raise or a rope crunch or something. They're okay.
I don't like the machine, but have you ever seen the thing called the ab coaster?
Ab
coaster.
No.
You have your arms on like a pad, and then it's almost like a roller coaster.
Oh, they've got one on Ultraflex.
And you like hook your knees onto a pad and you've got to like
Yeah.
ride the roller coaster up. Well, the roller coaster, but a bit of a funky bit. Okay?
Oh yeah,
What
yeah,
about-
yeah, yeah. Is it one? Yeah, I've seen that. Sorry, I was just
Weird.
gonna. I'll
Yeah,
share it
yeah,
with
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Googled it.
Oh
Go
yeah,
on,
yeah,
Google.
yeah. I just googled it. I know what you're on about. Is this? You're like this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
This
You
one.
look like a bit of a div while you do it, but it's actually decent.
What?
350 quid for that. Bloody hell.
For that.
I've never
I'm
Yeah.
giving that a
Yeah.
go. That'd
I
be
couldn't
fun.
personally do that myself. Fuck that. But
Makes a hell of a noise while you do it as well, though.
yeah, I've seen one of these before. I'd never use it myself. Fuck that shit.
Wow. That is legit a roller coaster.
Go up chest.
Barbell incline or flat.
What would I say?
So I'm going to say dumbbell incline, probably.
I'd probably say an incline Smith machine press.
Yeah, mine would be that too.
I like the Smith machine. It's nice. A good Smith, Atlantis or a Cybex one would be good.
What are you saying, Hill?
Hammer strength, incline. You know, the plate loaded one.
Yeah.
Like that one.
Or hammer strength flat. Hammer strength flat.
Is
There's
that,
not.
which one do you like? The lying one when you're lying down?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually really nice. It's probably
Let's
the
Maybe that.
It's actually quite hard to like find. I've not been in many gyms where it's actually
ever.
there's it's I find it's quite a hard one to find, but I think it's actually a very good. There's like a lot of brands that have made them now, and I've not used one of them that's felt like the hammer strength one. So
I've tried the Panata one. That one's shockingly bad. Don't like
final
brand-
strength, very, very bad.
Yeah. Delts.
Hammer strength shoulder press, plate loaded press.
Is that the
Ooh.
unilateral one where you
Yeah.
like an incline? Yeah.
Yeah.
Life Fitness do a good one. Decent.
Yeah, they do, but it's just not heavy enough.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm not that strong.
Yeah, you will be. You will be. You'll stack it.
Chasing the stack.
I would say piece of kit. It's annoying. I would like to just pick an exercise, not a piece of kit.
I am a fan of a cuffed lateral. I am a fan.
I must admit, I'm a fan of cuff laterals as
Mm.
much as I don't want to preach. Well, I don't mind preaching it, but yeah, I'll take cuff lateral raise for side delts anyway. Rear delt, reverse pec deck. It's got to be the Atlantis. I only do the Atlantis one on that. Atlantis is very smooth. Triceps.
Straight bar. I'm probably going to go for something like a straight bar push down. I'm awful for connecting with triceps on like bigger movements.
Mine be a long rope.
I just love anything for triceps. I bloody love it.
Oh, I hate training arms. Oh,
You know that Vulcan one, that Vulcan push down.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'd say Nautilus single arm like press, whatever you
Okay.
call it, skull
Yeah.
crush.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I like that one. Although the machine's quite tight, and that's concerning considering I'm the smallest person here. So, where else have I missed? Traps. Back. Well, we ain't done back yet. Fucking hell.
Deadlifts.
Back in general, I think we said this. It had to be a big back deadlifts. Lats though.
Nautilus.
Nautilus pull down.
Yeah.
Either that or a single arm pull down on cage. I connect really well with that.
Yeah, I connect really well with that actually. Cool. Yeah, I think I've done that. Working out macros best for, and I ain't answering that. Fuck that. You know them ones. Someone wants you just to basically decide what they should be eating or not. How relevant are back offsets? Fantastic.
Like, there doesn't need to be a term. All it is you're doing a lower rep set and a higher rep set. That's all it is.
Yeah, you're just working and you're just getting better in different rep ranges.
Because like people perceive when you say back off, it just means that there's like less intense. It's not. Just you're doing one set, there's a heavier load in one, and the other one that's like lighter but higher reps. That's all it is. They're both to failure. So.
Oh god, these questions are awful. I should have read these before opening them. People ask, what's the goal? What's your goals for 2022? Anyone in the natural scene you're excited to see? Someone maybe not well known. Cheers all. Anyone this year you're watching out for?
Oh, I don't know if any of you know Perrin. Tustin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think he's going to compete this year. That'd be good.
Well, he's starting prep soon, isn't he?
Freak.
Yeah,
I think he start. Yeah, maybe 4 weeks time, 5 weeks time, I think.
Yeah. Soon.
His mate as well, Tristan or whatever. They're both freaks.
He's gonna love that you mentioned him, by the way. He's gonna be sitting here smirking now, and he's gonna take a photo. He's gonna put it on Instagram. We're gonna be tagged, and he's gonna be happy about it.
We're gonna be tagged now, aren't we?
He fucking loves it. Did any of you struggle with sleep when being lean or in a calorie deficit?
That was the worst thing about prep. That was the worst thing about prep for me.
Lay off the trend then, Caitlin.
Really? From what I remember, no, I used to wake up. I remember I used to wake up early because I was hungry. But other than that, like falling asleep wasn't really an issue for me at all.
Yeah, it was the same.
No, it wasn't the falling asleep. It was almost yeah. Oh my god!
Yes.
Like it would be. I'd go to bed at like 9:30, and then it'd be up at 11, 1, 2, and then it'd be like 3:30. It was like really, really bad. But it's weird because when I went from lean to like actually lean, that's when sleep went like that. It was almost like an indicator.
Khifie, what you like on prep, mate, sleep wise?
I was, especially last season anyway, I like had so much work on that I was literally getting up and going to work and then wasn't getting into like pretty late at night, so I was fucked by that time. So I think I was just purely falling asleep by being that like so tired. But there was like a few nights where I would very much struggle just really getting over more than anything else, and I never really found that anything would help. But I started taking like the odd time I would take like Nitol and stuff like that just to kind of put me out. But it was really only because I knew that obviously I had a very early start again and it was straight back in for work and that. I pretty much worked myself into ground, but I never really noticed because I was on prep. It wasn't really until after that I took that into consideration. I was like, fucking hell, that was a lot. But again, it kept me occupied more than anything else. As much as it was a big struggle and it was very hard, I was working a lot. So it was like, I was constantly out, and as much as like it was a lot of PT work and that, and I was around a lot of people, and as much as I probably hated them at the time, I was preoccupied and not thinking about food and shit like that kind of thing. So by the time it got to bedtime, I was like out like a light. I was always ready for bed.
Bedtime, how old are you?
we have a bedtime though, let's be honest. I say I'm making sure I get to bed by 10 o'clock. That's how
Khifie's ready for night. Khifie's ready for night.
I'm terrible now. My off season, I'm up until like 1, 2 in the morning. But then again, I'll like. I know it's hard. It's hard. Honestly, it's a struggle. But
I wanted to get your opinion on this because I answered this the other day. Is it critical for a PT or to PT on gym floor before becoming an online coach? So should you be a PT before you coach? I gave my opinion on this the other day, and I certainly think, from my experience, I think you do, because a lot of people are online coaches now. You know, it's quite a big thing. You see everyone's doing some sort of coaching. Do you think you should be working on the gym floor prior to getting into coaching, or should you just get into coaching itself?
Maybe a little bit just to get a bit of work with people more than anything else. Because I guess it can be pretty hard going from absolutely nothing to working with people. Maybe it could take a little bit longer, but I think just to work with and around people and obviously maybe gain that little bit extra knowledge before you more so go into anything. I still think that maybe there should be a period at the start where you not necessarily give away stuff for free, but maybe give out a little bit more advice more than anything else. But I don't know. I started off with PT but I'll probably say just a little bit just to work with people. I think that's probably the hardest part.
I agree on that. Anyone else got an opinion on that?
Yeah, I think it's just you learn how to talk to people as well. Like I think that's a major, that you learn that everyone's different. The way you talk to people matters, and also like the way you critique people's form and technique and stuff. Like it all changes when you interact with people, because very well, like if you go straight onto online work, you don't see the response that people give. Like you might send them messages and you won't see how they respond to things. Whereas if you see it in person, you may realize, oh, that's not how I should talk to someone. You know, like, for example, when I'm critiquing someone's form, I can't remember what this, it's called, like a shit sandwich, something like that. So you always give them a bit of praise first to like soften the blow, and then you rinse them and tell them what they need to actually do, and then you give them a little bit of praise at the end as well. So then all they really remember is the two. They remember you've bigged them up, but then they need to know all the rest in the middle.
A shit sandwich. Okay.
It's something like a shit sandwich, something like that.
Yeah.
This was a strong set, but it was also fucking shit.
But
But
good
it was a
effort,
strong
mate.
set.
Yeah, I forgot that bit. Good effort.
So, yeah.
Are intra-workout carbs a must? If so, what? You think it's a must? I've been, ever since 2018 now, I've had an intra-workout, regardless of what phase I'm in, whether it's prep. I had it throughout my whole entire prep, having my off season. I've always just said, someone else have an opinion, actually, because I always fucking talk.
I think it depends how long you train for. I think if you're training for an hour, then you're probably good. But I think anything over, if you're pushing the 90 minutes, anything beyond that, I think that it's definitely beneficial. I think even if it's like 25 grams, that's all you really need, you know?
Yeah.
So
What do you guys think about the whole? Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right.
You know when they say, I think it was JP was like, people picking it throughout the session, people having to down it because of obviously the EAAs and stuff. Like, what's your opinion on that? Do you down it or do you sip through it throughout the session?
I separate my intra. So I have a carb intra, and then I have a protein intra. And then this is like getting to like minutia stuff though. So it's a bit more like the 1% kind of thing. The whole like protein thing does make sense. Like you don't want to be sipping your protein throughout the whole session. You do kind of want it in one spike. So that's what I do. Like I sip my carbs throughout, but then the protein wise, when it gets to the midpoint of the session, I down all of it.
I don't. I've seen JP do that, and I thought I just can't be fucked. It's just I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference to me. If anything, it's just more washing up. As well.
And I have broke 3 of those shakers since I've started doing that as well. So
yeah, it's fucking annoying. Oh, the other day on that note of shakers, I had my shaker in my hand. I actually dropped it, and because I drink my intra from a shaker. Because I've gone for a phase. Like, I used to be able to drink like 1.5 liters during my training session quite comfortably. I have about 500 milliliters of water now, not much, and I dropped it on the floor and it just fucking burst everywhere. You could imagine the scene in the gym. Everyone's looking at me. I'm like, I've just wasted all my intra. It's like 60 carb in there, 20 protein from EAs, and it just went everywhere. And they're coming over, cleaning it up, and I'm feeling really guilty. And the floor's fucking sticky. Oh, that was a disaster. But yeah, I don't mix it. I just think with intra workouts, like try it. If it's especially, for most people on more of a budget, I'd say try it if you feel like it's going to benefit you. And the annoying thing is with like supplements, you can't just take it once and have an opinion on it. You need to be taking it for a period of time to assess actually whether it works or not. It's like people take one tablet and assume they're going to be fucking something special. It doesn't happen like that. Take it for a period of time. Does it provide a benefit? If it doesn't, don't fucking use it. If it does, use it. That's all I would say. But yeah, that's yeah. Anyone else add to that? No, we're all good. We'll do one more, I reckon, because I'm not sure how long we've been on here for. Because I had a bit.
Make it good.
Make it good. Thoracic rounding on an RDL.
Can I'm out.
Well, on an RDL and on a deadlift is slightly different.
Why?
Because with the RDL, you're meant to kind of be loading the hamstring, aren't you? So the second sort of lower back is rounding, then it's kind of that's going to start taking some of the load. And if it's not braced through there, you're not braced through there enough, you're going to struggle to maintain the tension to your hamstring. It's like it's completely different now because everyone uses an RDL as a loading exercise now, whereas in previous years, like well back, people used it more as like a stretching exercise, like load it in a stretch. And if that was the case, the loading would have been a lot lighter, so rounding in the lower back wouldn't have been too much of an issue. But now, because it's such a loaded exercise, I think there is potential issue in that.
Yeah.
I'd probably say as well, it depends whereabouts in the set that this is happening.
Yeah.
If it's happening from the very start, then there's a problem. If it's happening on the last rep or two, then, do you know what I mean? I would say it's obviously much less of a problem and probably all right, to the point where I would still look to obviously maybe not have that the session after, but it would, for me anyway, it would be a big thing of whereabouts is happening in the set.
I agree. Anything else to add to that, or shall I leave it on that?
Don't end on that one.
Don't end on that one.
Nah.
Told you make it good, lad.
Fuck's sake. The questions are shit though. Like I'm reading through now, it's like, I'm 15% body fat. What percent would you cut to? It's all like that sort of question.
They're like, I don't know, like, see, whenever you do like the Q&A thing on Instagram, right? Don't get me wrong, like I enjoy doing it and I enjoy helping fucking people to whatever extent I can. But at the same time, see, whenever it's endless questions about what percentage should I get to in my off season, or what percentage do I need to be to then go to here? Like, there's so many of them, and I just refuse to answer them, because it's like,
I must attract the wrong audience. I just get asked if I like fish and chips and shit.
It's weird because when someone asked me about body fat percentage, I've had a DEXA scan, and that was when I was 2 weeks out, and I was 10.8% body fat in total, and 3% of my body fat was in my head. So I've got a fucking big head, which I know about.
I've got a big head though.
Yeah, I have. Look at my fucking forehead, mate. It's huge. I've got a big head. I know that. I know the beard doesn't help either. But when people tell me and ask me what body fat percentage do I need to be, I give them like based upon my own experience. So I tell them, oh, you need to be this.
3% head.
Yeah, 3% head. So it's always I hate them sort of questions. I will leave it there because the questions are shit. If you got to the end of this video and people watching, make sure you ask.
There we go.
Because they're not great. What's everyone got a final meal to eat?
I got 2.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, I've got 2.
I would have ate it by now, but dedication to the podcast. So.
Come on. I've got 1, so that makes me happy. Well, yeah, gonna leave it there. Fucking hell. I don't even know how long we've gone for. I think about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half, bang on.
Nice.
Comment down below, plug if you've watched the whole
I feel
thing.
we've had that one before, lad.
Have we?
Yeah.
Shit.
Grab something else.
Old one.
Glove. Thank you for if you have watched this far, thank you so much. As always, we appreciate the shares. We appreciate all the comments and beef and all that sort of stuff that people start. Khifie, someone was like, can you just make Jack, AJ, and Caitlin the main people? Just like, oh, fucking don't want Khifie on there, mate. He was fuming. His name was Will.
Yeah, have we had any beef on any of the comment sections?
I don't think so. No, most people.
They just want the timestamps. They really fucking want them.
Honestly,
yeah.
You don't know how long that actually is to sit down an hour and a half of us talking that I already know we've spoken about and have to find.
So what you could do, I know it's a bit extra, George, but could you make notes as you're doing it?
Yeah. But it's just long, isn't it? Like you're sitting there type. Like it's
just not committed enough. enough.
I'm not committed to the podcast. I will try. I'll make sure.
Not like Jack here.
I'm gonna sit down and fucking write out the timestamp for everyone because it fucking. I don't see a problem. I just watch it, innit? Just watch it.
Innit.
There we go. Anyway, lots of love, and we'll see you in a bit.